And I think it's okay to give Jeezy some of his flowers that. See, because when we talk about Jeezy, we always go to, oh, he's got a cult fan base. But enough of that. He's retired now.
Mm-hmm.
So now.
Retired.
He said he retired.
Oh, really? He put out an EP last, 6 months ago. Not even.
Rappers don't retire.
And after that, he said he retired.
Oh, okay.
Oh, he dropped a single last week. But he did say he retired, though, right?
Yeah, I remember a retirement
Rappers
conversation.
don't retire.
But he still looks retired.
Retired, but I'm still putting out music.
He looks retired.
He's
retired.
He's engaged.
He's engaged, like retired niggas.
Yeah, he's retiring from one game. Yeah, absolutely. Getting married. You're retiring from one game for sure.
That's what he meant by retired.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just saying. Now the people that weren't necessarily in his cult fan base, we can appreciate, not we as in me, but we can appreciate just the greatness of him. Jeezy's going to be tough to beat because one of his sliders that probably beats everybody else is just voice and impact.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Impact off that first album alone is going to be crazy.
Is he allowed to play Can't Tell You Nothing?
His ad-libs are on it.
They are.
It don't matter.
And didn't he do a remix? I think he threw a verse
Maybe
on it at some point, but that might be some mixtape shit.
I'm not saying that would be a go-to, but that's like an automatic haymaker.
Like, see, when T.I. plays Dead and Gone, I don't want to hear Dead and Gone in a battle. That's one of his biggest records, right? I don't even know if that's the name of it. But
Jeezy has 20 records that is gonna make it a tough night for T.I.
Yeah.
And I guess for me, it depends on how you feel about that other stuff T.I. does, like Blurred Lines.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah. No, T.I. got records.
Justin
Timberlake's Child, I'm a Soldier.
The Justin Timberlake shit was
the Justin Timberlake joint. Like, he's got a few of those.
No, T.I. has a lot of records. He has a lot of hits. But that's what I'm saying. In this battle,
it depends on how you feel about Swagger Like Us. Some people feel that it has aged bad and it sounds dated.
Yeah, but that's a win.
If you feel like the rest of the people feel about that, then that is a win. I won when I played it.
That's a win. Swagger Like Us is a win.
Then again, it was some young people.
I was gonna say, who were the judges in this battle that you won?
It was GC was a judge, and he thought T.I. would win, and Mariah was a 22-year-old.
Mariah,
really smart girl. No, not Mariah. Don't do
I was about to say, you ain't even hit me.
You're getting a rack.
A rack. Look at you stiff.
And she was going for Jeezy. So
where did your battle take place, or when?
At a kickback to my house.
Oh, okay. Recently?
After pod.
Oh, okay.
It was after we did the pod.
Oh, I wasn't hip.
Shut up, party.
I wasn't hip. I didn't know you were out here battling.
You didn't invite me to your birthday party.
I was trying to say, everyone in this pod seems to be having kickbacks and not inviting any other members of the pod.
I seen a Big Rory posted. He had the fireplace
with like wood.
Yeah, but it was mad wood. It was mad wood. It was just him. His fiance was asleep. Like, he wasn't making it look vibey.
Nah,
it looked cold
though.
It looked cold.
I was enjoying myself.
Nah, that's kind of
really?
That's like,
I was staring at the skyline.
That's like some old white guy shit, is to light up a wood fire and have a whiskey in the freezing cold outside by yourself.
Except now my jacket smelled like smoke.
You guys have made me reconceptualize that.
Yeah, no, that's kind of swaggy.
When is this battle taking place? November, right?
Yeah, I didn't like how they announced it this early.
When is it? November 9th?
19th.
19th.
Oh, man.
Shit is on Thanksgiving.
This is going to be in Atlanta somewhere, I'm assuming.
Yeah,
I would imagine.
Safe to assume.
Busta really didn't like T.I. turning him down. Did y'all see the other videos he put out?
I feel like he's been going on a press run of just to turn down.
I'm not going to play him, but yeah, you got to add him a little bit.
I want someone to battle Busta, though.
Me too.
Missy.
Someone tweeted us Missy, and that's actually really good.
But we had said Missy before that. That's why I don't care about what they tweet us. Like, we said that before. But Missy is the one. Missy's the one. That person and us was right.
But then that goes into the other bag too.
I don't like that we just putting Busta in a battle with Missy. I think he needs to be in a battle with one of these male MCs that think they got hit records. Like, I think that his career, his records, his lyrical ability. I think What? I think that that's where he belongs. He belongs. How's that misogynistic? I didn't say nothing. Missy is a legend.
Missy has hits. She can rap for real.
I'm not. Yeah, but can Missy rap as good as Busta Rhymes?
Yes.
No, she can't.
Yeah, probably.
Cut it out. Let's stop. We ain't got to do that. I love women and I support women in hip hop too. But
I'm not saying it because she's a woman.
Missy cannot rap as well as Busta Rhymes. Stop.
How do you think? Now, why you want to go and do that? performs in a battle. I lost that round when I played that. I didn't think I should.
Try?
I lost Fancy too with Drake. Like the judges was wild.
Fancy?
You were
they
Jeezy?
play?
No, I was T.I., but Nas played every Jeezy and Hov song, and that always won the crowd. And I forgot just how many songs
They got a lot of
Jeezy
songs.
has with Hov.
Yeah.
This guy would not stop.
He ain't seen it all.
Nigga, some of them just I never heard. Like, oh.
Seen it all is a really underrated overs.
Oh, man.
They have great records together.
Yeah, this is going to be one of those battles.
I was going to start with one of them until they actually announced the battle. Then I didn't want to show favoritism. But one of them fucking old Jeezy shits. Like, wait, why didn't I hear this before? Yeah, he won all those rounds.
Wait, what lost to Fancy? One Fancy.
One of them Hov and Jeezy records. I don't know. I want Run This Town.
I would hope so. Like, playing that fucking monster of a record.
Who was on
Oh, yes, he played.
Yeah,
Were you Rihanna?
Yeah, look at this guy. Yeah, Jeezy might win this.
I'm trying to tell you, he has 8 or 9 off his first album alone that could be a win for him. 8 or 9 tracks off his first
And
album.
he's got enough circulated through the rest of his career where he could take. That's why I asked how y'all thought that song would be received from T.I. How do you think some of T.I.'s songs will be received? Because what I was feeling in that battle, the battle that we simulated was, for every hard track that I played from T.I. where it was that trap shit, he was talking that shit, Jeezy's voice on whatever came next was a lot to deal with. It didn't matter the song, didn't matter the beat, the hook. As soon as he said something, it was like, oh fuck, drug dealers feeling this.
Like T.I., I think what T.I. was thinking when he first started, talking this battle thing was he does have a lot of hit records.
He does.
But in this type of setting, I don't think people care about which song do they like more. What song do they play like more? What had more replay value?
That's true.
Like whatever you like, one of T.I.'s biggest records chart wise. But people don't play that. People don't want to hear that. People not throwing whatever you like.
Is he gonna play that?
Probably.
That's one of his biggest records.
Yeah, he's probably gonna play it. I didn't play it, and the 22-year-old was like, "You can play whatever you like."
But that's what I'm saying. That's one of his biggest records.
Like, yeah, and that wasn't her voice, but
yeah. So, but he has a lot to pull from though. He has a lot of records to choose from. But it's gonna come down to what people have. What has more replay value versus, or do you just like the bigger record?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like that's what this battle's gonna be. And I think if you just play what people like more, I think Jeezy has more records that people actually like and have more replay value than chart-topping records.
well, we shall see.
Yeah.
Only mad weeks away.
I think T.I. knows the opponent in that way. I don't think he's just going to try to
he's
crossover hit us to death when he knows he's going against Jeezy.
Right.
Because T.I. still has that cold down south shit that people love the same way Jeezy does. I just think Jeezy probably has more of it. But yeah, I think T.I. knows who he's going against.
No, he's very aware. Definitely.
If your status ain't hood, I ain't checking for you. Better be street if you looking at me.
I remember the tune.
We need a soldier. I've been going through a lot of them Destiny's Child lyrics.
Yeah. Trying to break it down?
Listen, not now, but one day it's coming. They have a lot of lyrics that just...
That was Solange's pregnancy reveal. In the video. She started that whole wave. Somebody remember that game 106? They're like, oh shit, she's pregnant.
Look at this shit Rory's brain retains. Like, how do you remember that? Like, how do you remember?
He wasn't outside. I was.
Yeah, I wasn't outside. I'm still outside.
Rory, you got me hyped with this, might be a Solange album dropping last week.
Oh yeah, we was catfish, man.
How do you get catfished on an album?
I don't pay attention to the when people are really good at making fake pages, like they just change just one little letter.
They do the capital L with the I.
Yeah, and I'm
sneaky.
They called me, man, and the person that sent it to me, I consider a reliable source, and then he hit me after and was like, I got duped, man.
Come on, you gotta run it through dinner.
Give that thing one look, he would have known.
Filter that bad.
Yeah. He would have known. He would have saw the eye, like, look, it's fake.
All right, so speaking of albums that may or may not come out, right? Rory hit it on the head with that Ty Dolla $ign review last week when he said this is real cool music if you had to kick back and it's in the background and you're not really listening. I tried it.
It worked?
I'm sure it worked.
it was a lot better that way.
Yeah.
If I'm left to just focus all of my attention on this album, then I'm gonna nitpick,
Right.
because there's a lot to nitpick about. But if it's just on in the background, awesome.
That's the best way to listen to music, though.
But now,
Sometimes.
no,
Depends.
fuck that.
Were there any unsuspecting women that were looking to fornicate?
They're suspected.
There were suspects.
Nah, she don't want to fuck me no more.
No, let's not rush over this topic.
They'll take it if it like land there.
Yeah.
But they don't go for it. Like at 40, I'm out of it. I learned that in Clubhouse too. I was the man till a fucking party showed up. You think how tall are you? That's a popular question. He blew me on 6'6". It's like, wow. I didn't know you were so tall.
Even Joe in there, like, wait, 6'6".
Wow.
I'm in there like, hey, see that freestyle you did for the Black Queens? You really laced that one. Yo,
Oh my god.
what are we talking about? Because we're all over the place.
We're talking about the
Child album.
Oh, I thought we talking about the time in a man's life when he realizes that women don't want to fuck him anymore.
Yeah. At 40. At 40 for me,
Mhm.
they're not doing that. They're not checking.
I mean, you can pay for it though.
Yeah, but you don't always want to do that.
I'm glad I'm not single, man. It's gotta be hard to woo someone these days.
It's terrible.
To woo.
Yeah, it's hard to woo.
And then that's the other problem. I'm looking to be wooed.
Right.
When do men get wooed?
We gotta find a woman that knows how to woo men.
Hey, for those of you that were like me and thought it would happen when you got rich,
We're here to exist.
We gotta die.
We're here to exist. Support.
Yeah, and
And then die.
Yeah.
you know, it's horrible.
She knows.
Yeah, she's laughing at me being unappealing now.
Oh yeah, so this is what I was saying. So apparently, because some of you really tore me up about my harsh criticism of Ty Dolla $ign, but I stand by it. Fuck y'all.
You show him.
But now, this is another part of my concern. Allegedly, there is a rumored Ty Dolla album that the entire industry has heard already, and they all say is indeed the greatest album that they've ever heard.
Oh, it's one of these.
And it's not this.
So maybe he owes somebody an album.
Man, I wish I knew what was going on with these artists.
Well, it could also be
Just ask
I feel like
Atlanta
some people don't
when
want to
you go to
release
office.
like their great work if they
Yeah.
can't tour it. Because I would do if I was like
That's interesting.
if I had something that I would like to tour. I'm not putting that shit out right now. I'm gonna give you some feature-y shit.
It's an appetizer.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know if
but
I'll give you 25 songs.
Right. Well, if you got as much songs as Ty has.
Well, that's true.
Well, they guesstimate that touring will be back summer 2021. I don't all the way believe that yet.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that.
Yeah, I mean, not for huge acts. For smaller acts,
yeah.
they might be able to get away
I'm
with
just saying. So you're talking about potentially holding off music for
another year.
another year?
Well, I can see people putting out projects that they are maybe as passionate about, or just on some fun shit, but keeping their masterpiece or whatever to the side for a little bit, as long as possible until
I
you
get
can
it.
tour it.
I get it, but I do want to hear this album. If there's a secret Ty Dolla $ign album that exists where he did all the shit I thought he would do on this album, I want it. I want it, and I'll just wait for it.
Artists should give us live albums right now.
I agree.
I think now is a good time for an artist
How does a live? Oh,
to perform his album live and then stream it, put it out.
Right.
Yeah, it'd be
I
cool.
always liked live versions of records that I loved.
Me too.
Like to hear the band play like an older hip hop record, and then the rapper still has
well,
his
that's a really
lyrics.
good idea.
Yeah, they should do live versions of albums now and just stream it, put it out.
And
do the visual,
and
do the visual.
dropping the ball right now with not bringing the Unplugged back.
Yeah, they should all of that type of shit. I think is dope right now.
That's perfect for right now.
Yeah, live versions of albums, stream it. You can put the video out as well.
Right.
Of the show, the live show.
Right.
Yeah, I think this is a good time for that.
That is a good idea. What else we got?
Oh well, Ty's about to do a Tiny Desk, so
Oh, nice. That's kind of in that vein.
yeah, for sure. Oh no, I be leaving Tiny Desk shit on YouTube for the day.
Tiny Desk is dope. I like Tiny Desk.
Tiny Desk is amazing.
Look
Covers
at
really
look
dope
at man
too.
Ann Clemens again. He everywhere, man. Ann, I see you, boy. You working.
Hello, Anthony.
Yeah, he's working. When does this come out? Or is it out now?
I think it said 2 days.
Okay.
Tomorrow.
The Hip Hop Awards, BET Hip Hop Awards were yesterday. Of course, we're recording before they air, so we don't know anything that they're doing.
And if you're hearing this now, we have won. This may come back to bite me when we lose.
Do your acceptance speech now, bro.
I was asking Maul why he didn't go down to the red carpet to represent us.
I didn't know what a
and
red
have his
carpet
speech
was.
ready.
The virtual red carpet?
Yeah.
Who does the
You
acceptance
just
speech?
gotta
Well, do you
walk
want to?
outside on your block and film it.
I'll do it.
Yeah, do it.
Do the acceptance speech. Yo, thank y'all for supporting us. Continue to support us. And the rest of these nominees were not hip hop platforms.
I'm not even quite sure we're a hip hop platform.
Are we a platform?
We're not hip hop.
You have a lot of dip on your chip right now.
It's jokes. I don't think we're gonna win. I think they'll give it to one of
yeah.
their
I'm
major
literally
labels.
talking shit. I think this is funnier when we lose.
Yeah, exactly.
This is a joke.
That's the point.
Yeah, that was a loser's speech.
But I mean, this is coming from someone that is a BET Social Award winner.
Oh, that's
So
true.
I mean, I have the trophy in my living room.
That's
It's
true.
a
So
it's a
then-
hashtag.
So they happy.
Get it?
Yeah.
Socials.
Yeah. Got you. Yeah, but
Listen.
congratulations
I'm
to
just honored
whoever
be
won.
nominated.
Yeah, congrats to whoever won.
Oh, yeah, we should give our loser speech too.
Yo, fuck them.
Man,
There you go. There you go.
Snatch that award out Charlemagne's hand.
Right.
do we know if it's like a real? It's all virtual, I'm sure, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wonder if they still did ciphers.
Yeah, because it says her is in the cipher, Tiana Taylor's in the cipher.
Did they just do like a Zoom cipher? Or like
Brandy's in the
switch
cipher.
the screen?
Yeah.
Yo, fam, what if
Brandy's-
they... What if
Wait,
they-
what is Atlanta? Atlanta's open. I don't
Alright,
think she
so-
just do this in Atlanta.
All right, so they have... So they have, what do they have, singing ciphers now?
Probably.
Yes, it appears what it looks to
Probably.
be. I mean, even though her does kind of do her rap thing every now and then, and we know Tiana can rap too, but
Brandy. Right.
I don't know, maybe Joe Coach wrote her something. I don't know that.
That's true. I ain't even. Come on, Joe. I see you working.
City Girls performers, eh?
Shout out to all the nominees. Shout out to all the winners.
Yeah.
Hopefully it was a great show and y'all enjoyed it.
I'm gonna watch.
Me too. I think we should support all BET Awards, BET Awards.
Yeah. If there's some time to vote for us, there's that time still. But
No, there's no time.
If you're hearing this now,
There's no time. I'm trying to see if it wasn't accurate because it was getting noise from the television, but it's pretty accurate still.
Well, police have converged on the scene here, and as you mentioned, that 7-year-old in critical condition. She was rushed to the hospital from this house where police say shots were fired. Investigators and crime scene unit just arrived here on scene. We're on the 3000 block of Bedford. Police have a lead in this case, and I'll get to that in just a moment. This is video shortly after 8:30 tonight. when police rushed to this home on the 3000 block of Bedford. Authorities did not confirm how many shots, but they say they were fired into this home, striking that little girl at least once. The commander on scene says they have the vehicle's description and are on the hunt for the shooter.
Blue-colored Dodge Charger driving down the street. Someone fired shots into the house, and the young lady is struck in the back of the head. Currently undergoing surgery at this time.
And back out here live, neighbors say this is a quiet subdivision, mostly families along this street. I also spoke to family members who are arriving here, but they did not want to speak with us tonight. Many community members out here tonight want answers about what happened, what unfolded here, and of course we'll try to get those and bring them to you on air and online at WXYZ.com. Live on the east side, I'm Rudy Harper, 7 Action News.
And one more sad and senseless shooting with a young child a victim. Rudy, thank you for the live report.
An active, violent role in breaking strikes. Painted as marauders by the striking steel workers of Homestead in 1892, the Pinkertons lost the support of a segment of the middle class reading public when reports of their bloody engagements with striking workers came to light. And it was eventually, that company was eventually sold. In like 1999, I think it was. But what I'm saying to you is we are in an era when you talk about how could it get worse? It's the worst it could be. It can't get no worse. Yes, it can. It can always get worse. Yes, it can. We're not at the bottom. It can get worse. And when I say it gets worse, I mean everything gets privatized. Please don't forget what happened. Please don't forget what happened after we integrated. We had a whole bunch of white people say, you know what? We're going to have our own schools, religious schools, private schools, but we just going to pay for it. We see that happening now during COVID. So let me just bring this up. This is town and country. Sometimes you got to go far and in between to see what it really is. Posh or pod or resort academy. The rich head back to school in a pandemic. Wealthy parents are doing the spending, whatever it takes to ensure a smooth back to school experience. It turns out that the learning curve is steep. So let's read just a little bit of this and we'll get to it. Multi-page contracts, 4-page rentals, liability insurance. Welcome to the intricate, high-stakes, and expensive universe of running a learning pod in the midst of a global pandemic. For an increasing number of parents who have turned to this option, in effect creating their own schools, it is an endeavor that is proving more complicated than just inviting a few families over to have their kids learn together in the backyard. We had someone in the Hamptons ask if we could build a school on their property, said Joseph Connor, co-founder of Schoolhouse, a company that provides educational service. That's not exactly what we do. What Schoolhouse does do is facilitate the organization of pods, small groups of families who join together to hire a teacher, set a curriculum, and provide learning space for their school-age children. The service costs $14,000 per child for the year. Please pay close attention. Please do. That's $14,000. Now, I have heard on these Twitter streets that it's actually much more than that in terms of what these little schools and COVID-free enclaves cost. What I'm trying to say to you, fam, honestly, what I'm trying to say to you in terms of how it could get worse, the public trust is what this public space benefits us. When you make everything private, that's real money. Not no little bit of money. Come give me that. It ain't even $14K. That town and country lied. Come give me that 20, 25, that $40K a year for each kid. Come on. If you don't got it, okay, your kid don't get an education. You don't have any of the stuff, or all this stuff that we're privatizing, okay, your kid don't get an education. What? You want to defund the police? Well, let's defund the police, and we're going to take all the police out your communities and let these other people run your community, right? Because every community has people, because of whatever's happened, who gonna break in your car, steal, or whatever. Sometimes it's because they don't have. Sometimes it's just because of an addiction. We don't know what it is. So, okay, if you don't want the police, why don't you go buy your own private police? We're going to get in the private police business now. You buy your own private police.
Robots. The mere word conjures up mind-bending images pulled straight from popular science fiction tales. But robots aren't just the stuff of entertainment. They're real, and they are...
What we need are people who don't live in our communities. I can't remember what the little man's name was who was calling for the private police, but he was born and raised in a white community. You don't get to come in here and not know what we deal with and call for that. We need to take control of the police who is here. And the only way we do that is changing the hierarchy in this country, will put us higher up there than down here as a bottom caste. We get killed like trash because they view us as trash, because this whole country, that's what this whole country has done. You have to upend this whole country, and woo, that's a heavy lift, but you better be in for it or it ain't gonna work. And you better not be listening to nobody who sits in $1 million house talking about how they gonna be the police. They ain't never came outside, talking about everybody kind of come outside, but they'll never be outside. Take a 10-minute walk somewhere. That don't work. The police is the police. And if you say get them out of here, they're gonna leave your community and go to the white community to protect them. We have to force them to protect us and say we're of value. You know something? Police are charged and go read the history to protect wealth. And we don't have none. And we should have some. And we're owed some. And that has to change. And that only changes through reparations. Right? That is the ADOS heartbeat of an overall black community. Reparations is the heartbeat of that. You have to turn this whole country upside down. And you do that through wealth. You don't do that through nothing else. We have to be up on the hierarchy. That's the way it works. That's the only way it works. You have to, and if you don't understand it, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. I might as well just do a little tap dance to you. I don't know if you don't get that. People who can't even bear their own mental pain without getting shot in the street. Defund the police is not that. It's not the answer to that. Reparations and a policy framework that comes with that is not talked about a lot. But we're going to eventually have to talk about what goes with reparations, because this is not just about the payment. The payment is key and essential, but there's so much more that goes with that is not talked about that. And I fought all of academia for not giving us the whole thing that goes with reparations. Academia has failed us, all of them. We're not talking about anybody specifically. Everybody has failed us by not giving us everything, that the policy framework for that. It's a heavy lift, but it's got to be lifted. And now is the time to build your muscle, because you could have someone. I have friends who have family and a sister or a brother who all of a sudden had just all of a sudden they were broken and they had mental illness, and some of them had not even exhibited any signs before. Right? They were normal, Yvette, I promise you, and all of a sudden they exhibited signs that they were fracturing, and that happens because of America. And this reparations and the framework, I've always said that lineage therapy has to be a part of this. There has to be a comprehensive framework, and nobody has really dealt with that comprehensive framework. But ADOS is going to do it. That's what we're here for. And if you're in the chat, you're going for it. That's what it is. Don't wonder, can I do it? I don't know if I can do it. I don't know if I can feel it. No, you can. If you couldn't, you wouldn't be here. You wouldn't be here if we're having the conversation. So we're going to talk about, when you call in, we're going to talk about the protest. We're going to talk about, if you want to talk about mental health, we can do that too. We're going to talk about all of it. But I'm going to go to break now and give everybody a chance to call in and have the conversation. Let's have that conversation. because, you know, it is a conversation that we don't have enough in terms of how the police react to us when they get to our house if they find somebody who has a mental issue. So give me a few minutes as usual to set the calls. I will be back and we'll have a conversation. Fam, all right, we are back. We are back. We are back. I am in the call, so I'm going to just go to the calls and go to them as quickly as I can. I am going right now to 760. What is your name? Where you calling from? What's on your mind?
Hi, my name is Marlon. I'm calling from Oceanside, California. I did not want to be first.
Well, there you are. What's on your mind?
I like to talk about three things. The mental health you were talking about.
Mm-hmm.
The Americans that want to do an insurrection, and the police are paying funding.
Okay.
All right. So for the mental health, your last show is that you were saying before you're raising raceless children. So basically, they know the hit of us. So when they face it and they see it how it is, you can steal them in the knowledge of their true history. So when they face the racism they have outside, suicide is one of the answers they have to cope with as a coping mechanism.
So you saying that they haven't been raised as ADOS, so they not prepared for what they gonna come up against?
That's exactly right. You had too many Fresh Princes of Bel-Airs, all that culture, and then when you have it, this is what happens.
understand that. I can see that. You raised to think you're white, and then you run up against the like ADOSness. I can see how you wouldn't know how to deal. Yeah, I can see that.
And the Black Americans or Americans that want the open insurrection against, I don't know, the government. If you can talk to the infantrymen that went overseas, and you can see the wrath of destruction of people, places, and things that we have done, you have no idea what you're up against. You have trained, you have not the knowledge, you have not the physical ability, and if you think you do, you have no idea. You would think the billions of dollars the United States spends to gear up the people in the military and the equipment they have, you would take them with an AR, you're insane. Talk about Apaches, tanks, drones, you have no idea what you're up against.
Well, and I kind of wonder about people who say stuff like that. Like, I wonder if they're mental sometimes. Because it's not even like we're doing a time, when people talk about previous revolts or rebellions, that was also during a different era. One thing you didn't even talk about was surveillance. Like, you wouldn't even be able to hide yourself and hide your conversations. Like, what are you talking about? And it just kind of makes me feel like at some point everybody's going to have to get real and get honest about what is the capacity. Now, it's good to sit off somewhere and kind of promote this as your funding mechanism. But when it comes to the truth of like what is possible and even what is suggestible or what is like, these people aren't making any sense. And what they do is they take people away from the political movement. So no, I'm down with this. And whenever anybody else gets down with this, I'm gonna be down with them. And it's like, no, you're just wasting time. And you could be a part of something that actually matters. So I'll let you finish, fam. I'm sorry.
No problem. And the police, when you're talking about the Pinkertons, you're not gonna turn of the century with the Keystone Cops. Like the black and white things with the cops doing all goofy stuff. They beat up people and all that in a comedic manner. Like early century America never liked cops because all the things you talk about in that Pinkerton article. So they're just fulfilling what they are. They're just interior guard. They're basically acting in proper, preserve order, protect property, enforce regulations, enforce regulations. That's what they are. They're not about, like you said, the citizenry, the people. They're about property, order, and regulation. And that's it. Thanks for taking my call.
No, thank you, fam. I appreciate you calling in. Yeah, that's what they are. And you have to understand that, like, the thing is to protect property. And then you have to ask yourself, why do I have no property anyway? Not that we're not going to talk about the right or wrongness of what is that, but why don't I have none? Like, what happened to it? Oh, they stole it all. Okay, let's understand how we got here. I'm going to 770-770. What's your name? Where you calling from? What's on your mind?
Hi, yes, my name is Juanita.
Hey, Juanita.
And I'm calling from Atlanta.
What's going on with you?
Not a whole lot. Thankfully, just getting beat up trying to convince people to vote Democratic down ballot. I've given up. I need my mental health.
Got to. We can't lose you. We can't lose you. You gotta keep it.
What I wanted to say is that I'm from Chicago. I grew up on the south side of Chicago. And I've been watching Crooked Police since I was 10 years old. And I've never liked police. They're just a necessary evil. And I can honestly say that I would never call the police unless there was no other way to settle the situation.
Yeah.
Because I don't trust them. I don't think that they're for me as an ADOS woman, and frankly, I think they'd probably kill me before they would help me. Because when I was a kid, I watched them plant drugs on people.
Ooh.
I watched them do that. I was 10 years old. I'll never forget it. I was standing on people from Chicago know when you say you're standing on the front, you're standing on the outside, on the sidewalk in front of your house. And I'm standing up there with my girlfriend, and the police pull up on this guy. They snatch him out of the car. And then I saw one But I also have to say that a lot of the ADOS ones aren't even better. In fact, I think some of them are a little worse.
Because fam, you can't internalize white supremacy. That's what people don't understand. You can't internalize white supremacy because at a certain point you gotta make a choice, and we all gotta make a choice. Do I stand for careerism and rising in the ranks, or do I stand for ADOS? And I think when you see those cops you talked about, they have decided, listen, I got to do what's best for me. I got to do what's best for my career. I got to eat. And so, I don't stand with ADOS. I stand for me. But what I will say, too, is that there's never been a consequence in terms of not standing with your own people. We just kind of be like, well, he got to do, I got to do. Like, you have to say, no, we are a group, and you have to behave fairly. If you are a police officer and you are ADOS, you have to behave fairly. Even if that has consequences. Like, everybody got to live the consequences. That's just what it is. So I'm sorry, fam, go ahead.
No, you're right. And you hear a lot of excuses about why they do what they do. But the bottom line is, in my experience, 9 out of 10 times, I know this comes sound real messed up, but you almost want to see a white one before you see a black one, because black ones try to do too much.
They try to really act up, don't they?
If you see a black one and a white one together, you know that, and I'm not calling them ADOS, I'm demoting them to black. You know that black one is going to do too much. They going to overcompensate.
Yeah, because they trying to prove themselves.
They're going to stand back and let the white ones do whatever they want.
Yeah, they trying to prove themselves. They trying to prove that they don't have any allegiance to us. Like, that's what they trying to prove. I don't have no allegiance to them. I'll beat them up. I'll beat them up worse than you can. That's how I'm going to prove to you that I don't have no allegiance to them.
Yeah.
And if that's the cost, I don't want it.
But that is what it is. But in terms of the mental health situation, I know that growing up where I grew up, seeing the things that I saw, it had mental health consequences. Now, I'm not crazy, but there's some consequences behind it. Yeah. I think I got a little bit of PTSD from hearing all those guns go off when I was a little kid and seeing people shot.
Absolutely.
And watching people get beat up by the police. When I was a kid, that traumatized me.
Absolutely.
But will I go to a mental health professional about that? No.
Now, would you go to an ADOS mental health professional, or would you just not go to any mental health professional about your PTSD?
I would go to an ADOS mental health professional.
Okay.
It's ADOS and then there's ADOS. I mean, I have to kind of feel them out.
And let me just say this. I understand, but I think it would be helpful too if you went to an ADOS mental health professional that was from where you're from. So if you have a conversation and they say, yeah, I grew up there too, and I heard the bullets too. Like, and so, what I would ask, and experience. Now, in a Black American person,
Absolutely.
okay.
I'm just fortunate. I'm very fortunate. I got a chance to go to college. I'm a registered nurse. I make a decent amount of money. I managed to pay my student loans off because I got part of them forgiven.
Oh, good.
But I know I'm the exception. I'm not the rule.
Absolutely.
You know, I know that, and I don't want to be just exception. I think that my life should be the rule. When I look at I don't have any children, but when I look at my nieces and my great nieces, I want to see them better. You know?
Yeah.
I want to see them better. I don't want to see them constantly having to start over from zero.
Every generation starts over from zero. Ain't that something? Like you want to be able to
start over from zero.
Yeah. You want to be a part of a group that like everybody, unless they have some type of individual struggle, which is not a systemic struggle, that they have the opportunity to be upwardly mobile, right? Just and have whatever you have, and y'all can exactly.
Exactly. I'm fortunate in that, when my nieces were in college, number one, they were really smart girls and they got scholarships. And number two, I was in a position where I could help them some. Everybody doesn't have that.
Yeah.
And I'm really aware, and it's like, I don't want to say I'm angry about it. I'm really, really angry. Because when I was brought up, they said, shut up and smile and keep your head down and work really hard and you'll get there.
Absolutely.
And that's not true.
They lied to
That's
you.
not true.
You just say it straight, they lied to you. Yeah.
Right, they lied. The only thing that saved me was that we have a couple of Black Panthers in the family, and I always heard them in my ear, and so they kept me from completely falling for the okie doke.
They knew what it was. Yeah, they knew what it was.
Out here working and all of that stuff. So, I'm grateful for them. But most people don't. They just have people say, go to college, get $100,000 worth of student loans, and then spend the rest of your life paying it off.
Yeah. Even if the society makes it difficult to pay it off.
And that, the stress of having to pay off your student loans can make you need to see a mental health professional.
Yeah, because they won't stop calling, child. Ooh, they like to vote people. Yeah.
You know what? I agree that, reparations is the only solution, because if you go to school, you end up owing a bunch of money, you in the hole, you starting off in the hole. If you don't go to school, you don't end up owing money, but you're still in the same hole. It's just like Adolf is just in a hole.
Yep. So you have to have a solution. That's the thing, fam. What you're saying is the truth. Yeah, there has to be a solution. We can't keep in, because they used to tell us, well, if you go to school, well, if you study STEM, and it's just like, no, we know enough people who study STEM. And I'm not saying some individual people aren't successful, but we know enough people who've done these things that you said that, even if they have money, they're in a family where they're the only one, which is a burden in and of itself. To be the only person in the family. I've talked to so many of them, like I'm talking to you. Like, that's a burden of itself, to be the only one who has money to loan out or money to help. Like, that's a mental health crisis in and of itself. When white families just have, everybody got their own gig and their own thing, and it's not that pressure of, oh, when auntie come over, we always have to jump her. Right? Like, you know what I mean?
Exactly. No, you're exactly right. When my mother was living and she was sick and needed home help, I was the one that had to pay for it, because I was in the best position, and that was a lot. It was a lot.
I understand. And that's another reason to need mental health.
That was stressful.
Yeah, well, that's another reason to need a therapist on that.
Right there, because, I had to do it, so that meant I had to work, like, 4 and 5, 12-hour shifts a week. So I wasn't, and I did that for a couple of years because I needed the money.
Well, and let me just add to
I was able to do that and get the money.
But I think it's good that you have to do that. Let me just say that. Let me just say something else though. You weren't even able. Yes, you were able to get the money to take care of your mother, but I don't even think we understand that. What kind of getting the money to take care of people means that, like, if we have somebody who is passing, we can't even spend the time with the people. Like, right? So you don't even, I gotta pay for this stuff. So I can't just like sit with you and be with you because I know you're not gonna be here forever. Like it's just kind of robbed us of like humanity in a way. And that's what it's always done, though. It's not surprising, but I just want to hear your last thoughts on that, fam.
It did rob me of it because all I did was work. Mm-hmm. And of course I had to go to sleep. And, I spent as much time with my mother as I could. Mm-hmm. But it wasn't like this white nurse that I worked with who was in the same position as me. And she was, talking about it. But her family put the money together to take care of their mother. Mm. So it wasn't all on her. And then she had a husband. Mm. So she said, we had to give our share.
Share.
Just her.
Share. Not we pay the whole thing, share.
Right.
Absolutely.
Right. It was for them. They divided it up and it wasn't a big deal. I mean, it was a big deal to them, but not like, it was nothing like what I was going through.
Absolutely.
Big deal to them was, I was still in Chicago and they had to go to Wisconsin instead of Disney World on vacation.
So I gotta skip my vacation because mama's sick. Not like I gotta be here all the time, work 12 hours, go to sleep, get up and do it again and again and again because I don't have nobody to help me. Yeah, you don't know what real pain is then. You don't know what being ADOS is, and that's why we're a unique group. But yeah, fam, you're right.
That's it exactly. And in terms of these people with the private police and all of that, you can already see that coming.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, everybody think about it. Whenever something's jumping off, whenever the riot comes, the police will let ADOS tell ADOS. But they're going to get in the line so you don't come over there with the white folks.
Protecting wealth. Ain't no wealth over here. You're exactly right, fam.
In your own area.
Exactly. I agree with that. Well, you're right, fam, and that's Adolph's life. And I think, I appreciate you calling in. I thank you. Thank you, fam. And I think, we're going to, I think we're going to have to find everybody some kind of, I don't think we understand how much we even need mental health. Like, until we break. Like, most ADOS, until we break, we don't even understand, like, I need to go see somebody. Like, and I think she's absolutely right. We don't understand, and we haven't seen enough of white life to understand, like, okay, this is something that I haven't had access to. What? They just complaining about not going to Disney World or whatever. What y'all saying? ADOS life, and that shouldn't be our life. That's the takeaway. Anyway, let me go to the next caller. I'm going to 804. 804, what's your name? Where you calling from? What's on your mind?
Yes, my name is Greg. I'm calling from Mechanicsville, Virginia, and it's a pleasure to be on the show with you tonight.
Thank you. How you doing, fam?
I'm doing good. The recent Philadelphia shooting really hits home for me because my story starts in 1965 in Camden, New Jersey, about 2 miles away from where that incident occurred.
Okay.
And I really grew up in an insulated environment. During that time, the city of Camden, which is 90+% black, had an all-black police force. We grew up with police officers on our street who taught us how to conduct ourselves as young men around the police and look out for us. And we only ran into difficulty with the police when we would cross that bridge and go over into the city of Philadelphia, where you had those racist Italian police officers that just looked at you as human prey. And I'm 55 years old, and I can still recall incidences of being harassed and attacked by Philadelphia police officers. When you were in the city, when you were shopping, when you were going to the sporting events to see the professional teams over there, it was just crazy. And then you take a 2-minute train, a 2-mile train ride back to Camden, New Jersey, and you're back in this black Mecca where it wasn't high crime then. And the only time in Camden we were so insulated, the only time we saw something that wasn't black was when we went to the mall or the 2 or 3 teachers we had at school. So if you can imagine going from that extreme to taking hitch ride over into Philadelphia, and you would be subjected to all that racism. And it's just that the Philadelphia Police Department and that police force, they just don't value, the black citizens of the city or the black citizens that patronize Philadelphia. And from a mental health standpoint, I can relate to it is because my mother was a school teacher in the city of Camden for 47 years, and she taught the mentally handicapped. So I grew up my entire life around mentally handicapped children, young teenagers, and even some young adults. And I know how even then, and again, I was born in 65, I know how even then, in the system, when there was a police call in the city of Camden, just like they would be able to pull up in the database what your criminal record was, it would also pull up your mental profile. Now, if this was going on back in the 70s and 80s, I know it goes on now with modern technology because I'm in the IT field and I know these databases are all cross-connected. So in this latest incident in Philadelphia, if they were able to identify that this gentleman had a criminal record, previous violent acts, etc., it also could have been in his profile that he had mental issues and they could approach him with a different level of care and not deadly force. Because you see several instances where it may be a Caucasian police officer and a Caucasian person causing a disturbance, and they're handled totally differently. So, we just got to face it. They don't value us. And we can never, let our guard down and think about it.
Well, fam, I saw a video somewhere where it was a bunch of white boys with hockey sticks just beating a police car or something, and there was a police person in there.
Right.
So I don't even know what people are talking about. Like, what are you doing? These people are wild alley cats, and y'all killing us. No, the wild alley cat is there. They are instigating police. Like, not having a mental health crisis.
30670 and 64. You're over your pen run for maybe about another 15, 20 minutes.
Right. There's a more recent video, I think it's out of the Midwest, where a white male is attacking a female white police officer with a knife. She runs from the gentleman for about 5 minutes till her backup comes. And then she fires her weapon one time and takes the person down. He wasn't killed. She shot her weapon one time.
Cars 9, Fastburg and 8 miles, Fastburg and 8 miles, stop, turn, fire. Several shots fired, a silver Charger sped off, middle right on 8 miles towards Braston.
They don't value us.
Strasburg and 8 miles, stop, turn, fire, off the safety.
I also just compliment you on one major thing. Like I mentioned, my story starts in 1965 in Camden, New Jersey, but it goes much deeper. And that's the call to your show.
You can clear some here.
Sparked me to do my research. In the past 2 to 3 years, listen to your show. I spoke to my elders, and my elders are from rural Georgia, Bremen, Georgia, and Carrollton, Georgia. Both of my grandparents on my mother and my father's side, they come from slaves and plantations. And I'm not listening to your lectures to really spark my curiosity to talk to a lot of my elders before they passed on. I wouldn't have known that.
Is that still going to be top side?
You and Tone for sparking the germ for me to do research to find out that I'm a descendant of slaves. And I'm back in this movement till the wheels fall off.
All right, fam. I appreciate you. Till the wheels fall off. Y'all got a Fred Flintstone this thing. I appreciate you for calling in, fam. But yeah, those people still around. Talk to them. What they went through. I wouldn't even know that what she went through in terms of the KKK until before she passed. She told me they used to roam through the neighborhood and burn crosses and everybody here. I wouldn't have known that. There was no way for me to have known that. Sometimes it's good if you have people around to kind of have that conversation. About your lineage and your history. And what that is and what that looks like and what they've been through. It feels different. Reading in the book is one thing. Listening to them tell you about it hit different. So I'm happy.